Hi there, Nigel Saunders for KW Bonsai. Today we're going into the pre-bonsai garden and we're going to be pruning our deciduous trees. We've already pruned our spruce trees and our cedars down to size for the year. And yeah, it's time to start pruning all the rest of the trees. They've grown since spring untouched, so they're getting pretty tall. They're actually almost the height of me. So almost one of the number one questions in bonsai is, how do you grow the trunks thick on a bonsai tree? And this is kind of the answer. To grow a thick trunk, you have to let the tree grow. So you let the tree grow really large, and then you have to cut it back to get it small. And then you let it grow really large again, and you cut it back again. And you repeat this process, and you gradually shape the tree to get a thick trunk. You get movement to the tree. You do get a lot of scars from all these branches that grow, and then you cut them back or cut them off. And yeah, you get a pretty ugly trunk at first. It's full of scars, but then as you refine the tree, all these scars and that start healing over, the trunk gets smoother, and everything starts to flow nicely. So in the end, you get a really nice looking tree. Hi, Julian.
Hi.
So you can see from the size of Julian compared to the trees here how big they've gotten just since spring. And you can see down here is our spruce trees that we pruned in spring. They're looking pretty tiny. Okay, so the first tree we're going to tackle is this Manitoba Maple. So we're going to cut it down. We're going to look for where this new branch emerges. And the first thing we'll do is cut it back to the first pair of leaves, or somewhere around there. So down at the base. So there you can see the size. So when you grow branches like this, it builds a lot of wood on the trunk, or thickness on the trunk. So that's what we're after when you're growing your trunks to a good thickness, is to let the tree grow. So again, we're going to go in here and just prune it back. And this is just a rough pruning until we get more cleared away and we can get in there and see what's going on, and we may take some of this new growth off entirely. So we're just going to prune it down to size so we can get in here and see what's going on with the trees. So I've got a lot of the weeds cleared away, and I've pruned down a lot of the trees to kind of their first sets of leaves. And the next step will be to defoliate them, just so we can go in and clearly see what's going on. So all these leaves will have to come off, and then we'll take a look at the structure of the trees and do any corrective pruning. Okay, so we're going to go in and defoliate the tree. We just prune all the leaves off. And because these trees have been growing since spring untouched, they've got lots of energy in them. So there's no problem pruning all the leaves off. They'll regrow them fairly quickly. If your tree was weak and didn't have much vigor, you wouldn't want to prune all the leaves off, but it's safe to do it on this tree. And as we prune the leaves away, you can start to clearly see the structure underneath. So I'll change the camera angle down low so we can see what's going on with the tree, and we'll start doing a structural pruning to it. Okay, so we've defoliated the tree, and the next step is to study the tree. Before you do any pruning, you want to kind of get a rough plan of what you're going to do with the tree. So this tree comes out of the ground. It's a slanting style. It has an apex forming up here and kind of a side branch that's a continuation of the trunk line. So we have to decide what we like on the tree. And I do like the trunk. It's really knobbly and it's got a lot of movement to it. I like the idea of having an apex here and a side branch here. This side trunk's getting quite thick, so we definitely want to, you know, it's got a little inverse taper here where it's got a bit of a knob. So I don't think we want much more growth in this side branch. We probably want to concentrate the vigor on this upright one here. So I'm thinking, to start our pruning, we're going to prune this upright growth to our first set of buds, which is down here. You can see a little ring and a bit of a bud protruding. So you don't want to prune right down to the line. You want to leave some room, and this will die back to this bud. So we'll just take it off here. Same with this one. There's a ring of buds here. There's one here. So I think we'll just bring it back to here. And this one's okay. It's got a set of buds here, and we've pruned it back. You could prune it a little shorter. There. Everything else on this upright sort of apex looks okay. So this horizontal branch or continuation of the trunk line, we don't want to put much more vigor into it, otherwise we're going to get a very long sprawling tree. So we're going to take a lot of it back, and we've got 1, 2, 3 fairly vigorous branches at the tip here, so we want to take it down at least to 2. So I think we'll take this bottom one off totally. Tough one. Let me get in there a little better. Ow, there. I just pinched my finger. Ow. Dang. Okay. So we've got that bottom one off. So we're down to 2 major trunk lines here, or 2 major branches, and we've got a lot of little shoots here, and I'm just trying to see if we could utilize those. I don't think so. I'm going to take this one back a little further, and this one also, and this one. Yeah, I think we're going to take these little ones off. They're just kind of growing the wrong direction. We'll keep this one. Now we've got kind of a branch here that's kind of, I'm not really sure of the front of this tree. It'll probably be somewhere in the direction the camera's pointing right now. So I'm just going to take this off shorter for now. And we do have some buds in here, so I could take this down a little further. Just trying to decide if I should or not. I think we will. I think we'll take that down a little shorter there. Now we've got a lot of strong growth at the back here, so we could keep one as a back branch. Also, this one's kind of a back branch. We'll prune it off shorter. I kind of like, in nature on a slanting tree like this, all the vertical growth is stronger. So I kind of like a lot of these upright branches coming off it. I've got a tree in the backyard that kind of slants like this, and there's a lot of vertical shoots coming off the trunk line. So I think they're okay. I think we'll just reduce this branch off. We'll keep this as a back branch and we'll prune it off shorter because there's a set of buds down there. We'll clean up some of these dead stumps here. Try to. There we go. We'll shorten some of this growth. There's buds down lower. And also this one more. Clean out some of this dead stuff here. We've got our strong growth here. I don't think we need this little one. It's kind of redundant, shading out that area. I'm going to prune the top one off, this side branch. So this tree, it's been growing in the ground for about 10 years now. And it's getting to the point where it's getting close to being ready to take out of the garden and put in a bonsai training pot. So I think probably next spring this will be coming out of the ground. Okay, on to the next tree. So the next tree we're going to tackle is this ash tree. So again, we're going to start by defoliating it. Pulling weeds out. It's quite a tangled mess in here. That's why you need to defoliate it so you can see what's going on. So we'll come back when I've got it all the leaves off. It'll take a little while. There's a lot of leaves on this tree. Okay, so I finished defoliating the ash tree. So, as I said, the next thing to do is study it. So, we've got our main trunk here, and there's a little auxiliary trunk at the back that I'm going to keep. We've got a few suckers coming out from the base of the trunk, which I'm also going to keep because it'll help thicken up the trunk a little down below. It'll help with the taper on the trunk. So let's go up top now and see what's going on here. So we've got a major crossing branch here we can remove, like that. We'll prune back the upper twigging here. We've got a duplicate branch in here we can remove. There's a branch on top of another one, if I can get in there. Let me see if I can do that better. There we go. We can get rid of this one down below here. We've got this branch dividing into two. We can shorten it. We've got one growing in here that we don't need. This is our main trunk line. We don't want any branches down lower here, except for these ones, which will help thicken the trunk a bit. This one's good. Dead one back here. We've got a dead one here. We're going to shorten this one. That's okay. And this one we've got a strong, we're going to take this dead part off here. We've got a strong vertical one here that we're going to shorten. that. Shorten this one. We've got one here that's growing kind of inside and crossing, so we're going to remove that. Like so. Got a dead one in here we can remove, clean that up. Got another dead piece here. And another one. That one is totally dead here. Oh, I just hit the camera. And shorten this one. Actually, I think we're going to take off this one here. It's growing kind of vertical and competing with everything else. So these are our main trunks dividing. Our main trunk divides here again. So we want to shorten this and this, this. A dead part in here. Now we got to clean out some of these suckers down here. We're getting a little too congested down there. So we're gonna get rid of some of these lower ones. One going inside here we can get rid of. Cleans that trunk line up a bit. Anything growing inside we can get rid of here. We want our branches fanning outwards from our trunks. Get rid of this one too. This one. Shorten these up. This one can go. Now this branch back here can be shortened. There's a tall one growing inside here we can remove. Some at the back here too that are growing inside we can remove. There's some of these dead stumps. Get rid of this crossing one here. Just keep the one that's fanning outwards. This tall leader here has some buds down lower. We can prune it back shorter. Go. There are some stumps here that I'm not going to worry about too much. They'll soften up and rot away eventually. Get rid of this one, it's dead. This one. When your tree's growing in the garden like this, because you're not managing the foliage as carefully as you would when it's in a pot, sometimes you get branches that cross over others and shade them out, and you get some branches dying off, which is can be good and bad. It gives kind of a natural appearance to the tree. It's sort of what would happen in nature. But it can also you might shade out a branch that you wanted to keep. Just trying to decide here, we've got a lot of branches coming off from the one junction. I think we're going to remove this one on the inside. It's kind of crossing. We'll leave the ones fanning out. So I'm going to come in here. Oh, pour back here, right here, and take that off. That looks better. Now we gotta clean up this other trunk at the back here. Got a lot happening with it. We can shorten some of these. This can be shortened. This can be shortened. This can be shortened. This can be shortened. Let's cut that there. There. And we want to keep this secondary trunk shorter than our main trunk. As you can see, it's growing really vigorously. It's starting to shade out some of the branches on our main trunk. So move some of these dead stubs back here. So I'm just gonna clean up this back trunk here. I think I will take off some of these lower branches. They're just, the trunk's interesting enough. It doesn't need any branches down low here. We don't want too much going on lower in this tree. We want our fine foliage up top. I think we can even get rid of this one. We've got some branching happening here, some subdividing here. Get rid of this one inside here if we can. That's a hard one to get at. Come here, you little beast. I gotta get at it from the back here. There we go. There. Cleans that up. And I think I'm gonna get rid of this one vertical one here. Sucker here. Yeah. Yeah, that's looking better. Not so cluttered down below. There's a dead one here we can get rid of. Dead one here. We're gonna take that one off. I think that's not too bad. It's got that all cleaned up. Okay, so I think the ash tree is cleaned up best we can for now. And we'll go on to our next tree. So next we're going to tackle the Norway Maple back here. So again, I'm going to start by defoliating it so we can see what's going on. Really large leaves on these, especially while it's growing in the ground. However, you can see some of them are smaller. They do reduce, but when you let it grow like this, they don't reduce. They stay pretty big. So we'll come back when I've got it all defoliated. Okay, so I've got the Norway Maple defoliated. You can see, you can tell it's a Norway Maple. It's got this milky white sap. So next we have to study the tree. It comes up as a single trunk, and it has a twin trunk that's fused together down here, which is really cool. I like that. And then it comes up into a typical upright structure. So it's time to prune it. So first of all, I got an inside branch here growing, crossing our main trunk lines. We don't want that. We can shorten some of these whips coming off here. There's some buds down lower on them. This, well, there's a dead part here we'll get rid of. This trunk line, which is the continuation of this trunk, kind of takes a weird turn here. So we've got a better leader in this direction, so I'm going to prune off this heavy upper part here. Like that, and it'll get it growing in a better direction. This one's dividing into two, which is good. Got some dead ones on the inside we can remove. We've got a bunch of suckers down lower. I kind of want the energy to go into these two branches as upright trunks, so I'm going to prune off all these suckers down here. That way we won't get such a ugly knob of, not such an ugly knob on our trunk down here. It'll blend in better. Another dead branch we can remove back here. And this one. We can remove this upper stump from where we pruned it before. Like that. Get rid of some more of these dead stuff back here. Shorten this. This. And I think we'll take off this section of this and keep this as our leader. It's growing in a better direction. We'll get rid of this one. So we got two. Branch dividing into two. Get rid of this inner one here. Dead stump we can remove here. Another dead section here. The rest don't look too bad. So 10 years growing these in the ground may seem like a long time, but it's not really. You don't have to water these trees. If you're really busy, you can just let them grow, cut them back anytime. You know, you have to keep up the maintenance on them. The more you do to them, the better a quality tree you'll end up with eventually. But they're pretty easy to grow in the garden. It's a great way to develop your trunks, and you can get some pretty nice looking bonsai material out of these garden trees. So I'm gonna continue pruning up all the rest of the trees, and I think that'll be it for this video. So Nigel Saunders for KW Bonsai. We'll see you next time.